Run it back for the boys from 69, back for the fans on 12th and Vine. Run it back to back and raise it high.
Hello, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to MKE Chiefs Cast live from the Wolf Den Special Edition, where we'll be joined by a very special guest. As always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Chris. Our special guest today is Mark Van Sickle, who is writer and content creator for Arrowhead Report on SI.com.
All right, and as always, we are presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth, lighting, and coordination services. And this week, we are previewing our Division Round matchup against the Cleveland Browns, believe it or not, this Sunday, January 17th at 2:05 p.m. Central. And a big reminder to all Southeast Wisconsin residents, you are invited to join us for game day. Please visit mkechiefsfans.com to get more information. So let's jump right into the topic. So Mark, why don't you tell us, how did your weekend of watching and being prepared to cover football go? Did it go exactly as you expected?
It actually did. The only game that I missed this weekend was I had the Seahawks over the Rams. That game kind of threw me off, but
yeah.
Every other game I picked correctly, surprisingly, and I was really hoping the Chiefs would get the Browns at Arrowhead Stadium just because it's a team that they haven't played this season. So I wanted to see a different team that we hadn't had a chance to see. So I'm really happy that the Browns are pulling this one out and that we'll get to see Baker Mayfield, Kareem Hunt back in Kansas City. Yeah. That'll be an interesting storyline and should be good, though.
Yeah, old friend alert for sure. Chris, what did this weekend look like for you?
Yeah, I was hoping to see the Browns too. I guess I better be careful of what I wish for, but no, I thought last week after they struggled against Mason Rudolph, I thought that they I thought they'd probably lose close, just like you said last week, Josh. But Ben Roethlisberger just obliged and decided to give the Browns an early, comfy lead, and now it looks like we're going to be getting the old Dwayne Rudge show, hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely, when we were doing our weekly, I was expecting the Steelers to win by somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 points, and I was expecting the Browns to have the ball when time expired on roughly the 5-yard line, really close to scoring, and it was just going to end up being a Steelers going to steal and a Browns going to brown, and this was just blowing my mind watching this. I mean, my kind of weekend started. I wanted the Colts. I'll be straight up about that. I wanted the Colts, and more than anything, it was just a selfish thing of I wanted to know who we were playing as early as possible. I wanted to know when this game was going to be, and a little bit of mini rant on the NFL. How did it take so long to just say when these games are going to be? You knew who the 2-1 seeds were going to be. You could have told us what this was going to be on Wednesday. I mean, we're in Wisconsin, and there's Packers and Chiefs fans that have parties to plan, and we have weekends to put schedules around. And
totally.
Exactly. It was just insane. So I didn't think there was any chance in the world that we were going to get to see the Colts. And then it kind of looked like that was going to actually be possible until it just wasn't. So I pretty intently watched that Ravens and Titans game today, thinking that this is going to be the preview of who we're going to be watching. And, you know, the only purpose of this Browns-Steelers game is going to be to delay this call, you know, and just to make sure that we were going to be up in the middle of the night, you know, talking about this. But then we get into this crazy Browns-Steelers game, and it was just crazy to watch. And there wasn't any kind of you know, soul-crushing loss for the Browns. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to just seeing what all the Browns people I have in my network have to say about it. So they're coming to town. So Mark, what are we going to see next week aside from Kareem Hunt?
Oh man, they've got a good rushing attack. Chubb as well.
Yeah, for sure.
When Baker Mayfield is on, he's actually a really good quarterback. I know there's times when he looks kind of flustered out there, and I think the Chiefs, if they can get that pass rush going, I know it took them a while this season to get there, but by the end of the season, they were starting to get that pass rush going. If they can do that against Baker Mayfield and he gets happy feet, if he starts dancing around in the pocket, that's when you can force turnovers and sack him, maybe get a forced fumble when he's trying to do a little bit too much. He's not quite Mahomes, as we all know. So if they can get after him, I think that'll be a good thing. They're going to have their coach back from what I hear. I think I just saw Schefter tweet about that.
Yeah, Stefanski.
So he'll be on the sideline, and as long as he stays away from Andy Reid postgame, that'll be fine with me.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, so the biggest thing you're thinking is we need to get some pressure on Mayfield, get some happy feet. Chris, anything different that you're seeing?
No, I mean the biggest reason why the Browns got out to such a big lead tonight was turnovers. I mean, the first play of the game was a snap over Roethlisberger's head. I think if you can get the Browns down early, that's huge. I don't know if you guys read The Athletic, but Ted Nguyen had a really good article out this week. He does a lot of articles on play design, all that, and he talked a lot about the Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and now Kevin Stefanski type of offensive scheme that the Browns run, and it's very dependent on the run game. And I also don't think it's the type of offense you want to try and run from behind. So just, not making mistakes on offense, not letting the Browns get comfortable early, and moreover, making Mayfield throw the football to win. I think that's the way you beat these guys.
So in other words, we need to treat it like it's a pyramid scheme, and we're the guys that are going to get up and walk out of the meeting is what we're talking about.
Yes.
For me, I think it's just a lot of mentality, and I don't want to kind of pile on the Browns, but I also kind of do. And quick cyber, I mean, I'm a big sports fan. There's not really a sport that I've met that I don't like, and so I watch a lot of English soccer, and there's one particular guy. Manchester United, absolutely hate the team, but Alex Ferguson was their coach forever. And so think like Mike Krzyzewski or Red Auerbach or Bill Snyder, just really, really long tenure, pick your poison, whatever it was. That was this guy in a sport where people just don't stay in a job. And the team that I root for, Tottenham Hotspur, is based in London, and they've generally not really achieved anything, and Manchester United has achieved a lot. And so the running rhetoric is any time that Manchester would play Tottenham, Alex Ferguson would just go into the locker room before and just say, lads, it's Tottenham. And that was his speech. And so that's a long way of saying I want an Andy Reid speech to just be like, gents, it's the Browns. It's the Browns. Just go out, play the game. We have Patrick flipping Mahomes. We have Chris Jones. We have our all-pro players and everything like that. And Fisher, you need to have the game of your life blocking Myles Garrett, because we do need to make sure that we're recognizing that there can be pressure from the other team. And, let's just go out and do our thing and treat them like we do the Texans without letting them go up.
That's one thing I'm a little worried about. The offensive line's been a little banged up, and just seeing if the bye week and the extra time off maybe helped him out a little bit. We had a few players, but Sammy Watkins was out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't think we really even know if he's going to be playing for sure. I know they want him to get back, but they don't want to push him. So maybe Le'Veon Bell will have a little bit of a bigger role the first playoff game. But yeah, the offensive line hopefully being a little bit healthy. I'm not expecting Mitch to be back, unfortunately. But I think if everybody else is healthy, we've got pretty good depth now, so that'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, Le'Veon Bell clearly has some history with the Browns, and he's probably one of those guys that has a gents, it's the Browns type of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Chris, anything else that you're looking at?
Yeah, no, it's just going to be important to give Mahomes time to throw the ball, because that secondary can be had. I mean, you saw some of that if you watched the game tonight. And it's just like, Cleveland, they got out to big leads as well against Pittsburgh and Tennessee, and almost blew both of those, mainly because they're not very good against the pass. So this is a good matchup for the Chiefs offense.
Oh, yeah. Every single time that I was watching tonight thinking, man, Pittsburgh's going to get back into this, and this is going to end the way we all think it does, was all just some pass. And it was a route that should have been defended better than it was, and just some strike from Roethlisberger when he looked like Roethlisberger from old. So how much of that result tonight do you think was the Browns truly being a formidable team, and how much of it was Roethlisberger just being washed up and probably retiring this offseason?
I think it's probably more Big Ben, honestly. I mean, that first snap wasn't his fault, but after that, throwing 4 interceptions is just ridiculous. And I know he's had games like that before. I think a few years back when they lost to the Jaguars, I think it was,
Mhm.
he threw 4 or 5 picks in that game as well. So I guess that Big Ben kind of comes up every now and then. He's had some terrible playoff games. He's had some good ones too, but yeah, I think it's more Big Ben than the Browns being really good. Like you were saying, they can get thrown on, and I think Mahomes is going to have a big game. I don't think the Chiefs have kind of started out slow a lot this year. I don't think that's going to be the case this week. I think they're going to get out and get after it.
So how much of the
Yeah.
starting slow do you think was Reed kind of sitting on the playbook?
I think it was just the lack of concentration by the players, really. I think throughout the season, I saw an interview with Kelsey this last week where he said they knew that they were going to make the playoffs this year. Even before the season started, he said they knew they were going to get into it. So I think sometimes the lack of concentration, obviously getting to the 1 seed, they didn't have that clinch until week 16. But throughout the season, I guess it's just human nature where you just kind of, all right, we got to get to the playoffs. We got to run it back. We got to get back to the Super Bowl. So I don't think when the playoffs start, they're going to have the concentration laps maybe they have been having throughout the regular season. I think they're going to lock in. They're going to focus in. They're going to have a big point of emphasis on that after the bye week.
So that's got to be scary for the league if this was a lack of focus and concentration. A 14-2 season
Yes.
that included basically not playing week 17, and yeah. I mean, this is a good side of the equation to be sitting on for sure. Chris, anything to add to that?
No, I think the switch will be flipped a lot earlier than it has been in most games this year. Yeah, I don't, I definitely don't see them coming out like they did against the Texans last year in the divisional game. I think this is going to be, again, as long as the Chiefs don't beat themselves early. I mean, you looked at tonight's game again. I'm going to keep going to this. I mean, I don't know if Cleveland turned the football over, but if they didn't, they were at least, that means that the Steelers were -4 in the turnover margin, and they still had a chance to get into the game. So it's not like Cleveland did as much as it may have looked like to get that lead. I agree with Mark. I think that had a lot to do with Ben Roethlisberger giving them the early lead.
Gotcha. Mark, I feel like you had an extra take that we threw to Chris a little early on.
Oh, no, that's all right. I was going to say playoff Mahomes last year when he played AFC teams, I believe it was he threw 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yep.
So if we're seeing that Mahomes against the Browns, look out. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, that would be great to just see a romp through the AFC. I personally would be cool if we didn't have to see the comebacks. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were fun and everything like that, but I prefer touchdown shots over rally shots, and I think we're all probably on the same page. And if we can have these games in hand by halftime and enjoy the second half, keeping an arm's length 3-touchdown lead, that would be pretty awesome.
I'd take that.
yeah, for sure. So, Mark, a couple things that we've done throughout the season, just some questions that we've asked every week when we're doing our show. If this season was a song, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a great question. So many songs just start coming into my head. I don't know why this song just kind of popped up. More Than a Feeling.
Yeah.
More Than a Feeling, because you want to get back to the playoffs, but you're not really quite sure what's going to happen when you get there. But you're ready to go. You're ready to run it back, and it's more than a feeling to get there.
That is one of the best guitar licks in the history of the world, and if you don't feel some just level of excitement when that comes in, then I don't even know what you are.
Oh, agree.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your song for the season?
I got "It's Good to Be King" by Tom Petty, because
there you go.
really, it's they have been king this year. They've been the favorite from start to finish. Regardless of whether or not you want to try and downplay their winning streak with the one possession wins, I mean, they went 14-1 when they were at full strength, and probably would have went 15-1 had they had to play their starters against the Chargers. So I mean, just don't downplay what a great year this team has. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, they haven't played their best football yet, and they went 15-1.
Well,
Or sorry, 14-2. But
and they lost focus in that week 5 game against the Raiders, or could have gone 16-0. Yeah. So my main song, I'm just been rolling with "Fight for Your Right to Party" all year, but just to be a little on brand, just to be on brand from a Florida thing. Every year we try to play music when we're not like COVID locking down our room. We try to play music during games, and so I usually try to get a theme of where the Super Bowl is going to be. There's not a whole lot of work with Tampa-based bands, but Tom Petty's really close, and so "Running Down a Dream" is what I'm going with.
there we go.
I like it.
We'll run with "Fight for Your Right to Party." So another thing that we've done. Are you a big fantasy guy?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so every week we've done a boom, a bust, and an okayest player. So for the season, how did you do in your leagues? Did you win any titles? Because based on the way you answered that, I'm assuming you have more than one team.
Yeah, I finished first place in one league, third place in 4 leagues, and I was the consolation bracket winner in 2 leagues.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
too many leagues.
The consolation bracket winner is the best and worst place to be, because you have this insane amount of what if, and you usually end up in those situations scoring more than everybody in the top half, and you look back to everything you did. So who is your boom player for the season?
The boom for me was Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
that was a great keeper for me in one of my leagues. I got to keep him for a 5th round pick, and that was solid.
What league are you playing in, and who are you playing with? What is happening? How did you pull this off?
So it's a league that you can keep up to 3 players, and from the year before you have to take 2 rounds off.
Okay, yeah. So you have penalty. When did you pick him, and how did you pull that off? I'm still shocked that you managed to get to a point where, even if it was a 7th round last year,
So somebody drafted him like a long time, like probably 2012. We've been doing this league for a while. So by the time that he's at the 5th round or whatever it is now, he was probably undrafted that first year. And I traded for him. I think it was when Alex Smith was still here. So it was a while ago. So I traded and got Kelce when he was still like an 11th round pick. So
is this a dynasty league where you have individual defensive players?
Not defensive players. Just the normal stuff with a regular defense. But we can keep 3 players with the 2-round penalty every year.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love keeper leagues where you have the penalties. That's absolutely my favorite way to play. And then so if you pick somebody up as a free agent, do they go in like the last round or second to last round, or how does that work?
Yeah, they count as undrafted, so I guess you have to take whatever the second to last round is. Gotcha.
Okay, so who is your bust?
Oh, man. I had a couple busts this year, but I guess it's unfortunate, but one of them was Saquon Barkley, just because injuries. So if you want to count that, Saquon definitely.
So just to make sure that we're being clear about this, you started a season, you finished a draft, you had Saquon Barkley and Travis Kelce on your team, and you're sitting here dreaming of cashing checks from all your friends, and you end up having to watch Saquon go on the injured reserve. I hope I'm not rehashing any wounds too terribly.
Oh no,
we all do this every year. I mean, this is
it happens, and you just got to work the waiver wire and try to get some crazy trades in there and hope it hits. But I think I finished 3rd place in that league, so not too bad.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, who's your most okayest player?
Yeah.
The okayest player this year. Let's see. I'm trying to think back. I guess you could say Todd Gurley was just okay. He wasn't like a huge bust. You didn't take him early this year though, so he was just kind of like take him in the middle round and just kind of an average dude.
You were literally okay with what he gave you every week.
Yeah. He would get a touchdown every now and then. You know,
You're like,
his
okay, 6 points.
his high is like 14 points this year. His low wasn't terrible when he actually played. He missed a couple games, but he was okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing we talk about all the time. I mean, you love those 30-point games, but I mean, to me, the best fantasy players, if you can pick a roster full of never below 10s,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're in every single week.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
super
Yep.
nice.
What other fantasy sports do you play? Is it just football or?
Football and baseball. I used to do NBA for a little bit, and then whoever my friends were that were doing that decided not to play anymore. So really hoping Kansas City gets an NBA team at some point. I heard that they might be expanding. I know Seattle and Vegas are probably the top two, but Kansas City would be a great location. People around here love it.
Yeah.
Huge college basketball fan base around here. I think that, despite all the different fan base, I think we could unite to have a Kansas City NBA team here and have a pretty good fan base.
Oh yeah, I mean an arena in hand. I mean, I'm sure that the T-Mobile Arena has a basketball court you can throw on top of it as well in Vegas. But I mean, Seattle should have a team. I think we're in agreement with that. But we should be able to snipe Vegas.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we should. So, Chris, I know that we've gone through all of this, but for the season, who is your boom, bust, and okayest?
For the season, my boom is Josh Allen. I mean, who saw that coming? In a season where
to that degree,
Aaron Rodgers didn't have. I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't get enough credit for the statistical seasons he's had this year, and then Patrick Mahomes doing what he did. I mean, Josh Allen, I think, in one of my leagues was the highest scoring player. Crazy enough, I think it was in a Yahoo league, not a.
He was in every
ESPN
league that I played in. Every league that I
Was
played in. He was number one. He was the best fantasy player this year.
Yeah, because he also gave you, I think, the rushing touchdowns as well with the 39 passing touchdowns.
Yeah. No, he scored 350 in about every format that you could possibly have. So he's my boom as well. Who is your bust?
My bust, I'm actually going to go with Michael Thomas because I have him in one of my leagues. I think he went very high this year just because of his potential for high receptions and high touchdowns, but that high ankle sprain just definitely held him back for just about the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being mean and personable, I got to throw out DJ Chark because that dude just made me mad the entire season. But no, reality, I mean, the correct answer is Barkley, McCaffrey, or Michael Thomas, and think of whatever affected you closest, and that's it. Who is your most okayest player?
Oof, I got a lot of candidates here.
So Chris took a lot of consolation bracket wins, is what you're telling me.
I did. Gosh, for okayest, I'm gonna go with Rob Gronkowski. Let's give it to Gronk this year. So I think he picked up a little bit of steam as the year went on, but that whole Brady to Gronk reunion, I don't think went as dynamic maybe as some people were hoping.
Sure. Yeah, so I stream defenses and kickers pretty much every single week. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the defense was okay because I was generally pretty okay with whatever I was able to pick up on the waiver wire and stream for the week. Nice. So two more questions for you, Mark. So this is one that we ask every single week. So I want you to sit in a hypothetical situation. You're given 2 days off of work. You're given a flight to Vegas. And you're given a check for $1 million. The stipulation is you have to go out there and bet on the AFC champion, the NFC champion, and the Super Bowl champion. How are you spending the money? Who are you betting on? How are you allocating it?
I would be giving. So I have $1 million for 3 games. That's right.
Correct, and you can go as low as $1, as high as 99998.
All right, I'll
one more 9 in there.
I'll be putting I'll say $250,000 on the Chiefs for the AFC Championship game, winning that. Probably $250,000 on the Packers. So that leaves me with $500,000 to get the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
All right.
over the Packers.
Yeah,
Like it.
yeah. We live in
I like
Wisconsin.
it.
We're looking forward to that. So
Oh,
as a
yes.
side note, the bar that we go to, it's a Buffalo Wild Wings that has a back room. The general manager goes to her regional meetings, and she sits in front of all these people and tells them about how she has a bigger Chiefs group than a Packers group, and none of them believe her. And so she starts sending all the pictures for our website and stuff. So we take a great amount of pride of the amount of churn that we create up in our area. So, Chris,
That's
what's
awesome.
what's your betting looking like this week?
Not too different last week. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did, but I think I took a bit of a page from Adrian last week because I put some money on the Ravens to come out of the AFC just to try and make a little bit of money. I'm still going to go there because Jackson got the monkey off his back, so I'm going to put again 10,000 to 1, baby. Let's go with 100 million on the Ravens to come out of the AFC. I still like the Packers out of the NFC, so I'm going to go ahead and put 100,000 on them, and then 800,000 on the Chiefs because I think if they make it to the Super Bowl, they're not going to lose it.
So I'm assuming you mean 100,000, not 100 million, and you didn't take that million and get into some business we didn't know about before you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I made a little bit of money tonight on the Browns, I guess.
Yeah. So my hedge fund in the NFC, the Washington football team ran out on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump back on that Rams thing that we were on. Even though I don't think that there's anything better for us up here than a Packers Chiefs Super Bowl. And as long as they win, there's seriously nothing better for us. Us losing to the Packers in a Super Bowl might be the worst possible thing. But so looking at my NFC thing as a like hedge fund retirement type of thing, we're going to go ahead and throw the Rams for $100,000, and then I'm going to do 4 for the Chiefs and the AFC Championship, and then $500,000 for the Super Bowl. And it's just go and chalk,
right.
and you're going to get all your money back plus a little bit. And you know, this is the stock market. You shouldn't be expecting to make 90%. That's not a real thing. So, and then Mark, last question before we go. Patrick Mahomes puts ketchup on his steak. Would you do such things?
Yeah, I'm willing to try it. I don't believe I have actually before. I might have actually when I was a kid. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll say this right now on this podcast. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl again, the week after the Super Bowl at some point, I will eat steak with ketchup.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call. Okay, so that is a challenge to Chiefs Nation. We have to go out for dinner, order steaks, and get ketchup. That is awesome. I personally believe it's sacrilegious, but I will do that for the whole thing. And if that's going to get us some positive vibes going into this.
I should go in the steakhouse wearing this, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'll take ketchup."
Nice.
Yeah.
They'll do it. They'll do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's great. Alrighty. Well, so I guess last thing, one extra question, Mark. What do you see for a score prediction for Divisional Round weekend?
All right. Well, one other random stat that I wanted to throw out for everybody.
Yeah, by all means.
That I just saw right before we started talking here tonight. So the Chiefs are 4-0 against teams that are playing the divisional round coming up this week. They beat all of the teams on the road: Bills, Ravens, Bucks, Saints, all of them. So that is another thing on the resume for the Chiefs that just is looking very solid. And one of those two teams will make the championship game too. So they're going to be playing they're going to have a great resume. Anyway, other than that though, for the Chiefs score, we're just doing Chiefs score, right?
Do all 4 of them. Do
all four of them? Okay.
Do all 4 of them.
All right, let's
do it.
You
want to.
All right. So for Bills and for the Ravens, that'll be a good game. I actually haven't really thought about who I was going to pick until just right now.
Yeah. I don't think most of us have. We didn't think that game was happening.
I know. That's what I didn't even think about it till right now. But I do think that I think the Ravens are going to pull off the upset.
They got a running game. That's the formula.
Yeah. And that's the Bills.
The Bills look like they were pressing, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be Ravens 31, Bills 28. So it'll be Ravens, and I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Browns. I think this is going to be a big one. I think it's going to be 38-17. And do you want me to do NFC too? I'll do NFC too.
Do it.
All right. So we got Saints and Bucks, I believe. And I think the Saints are going to pull that one out. I think it'll be a good game, though. I think the first 2 games were big blowouts by the Saints, but I don't think that's going to happen in the playoffs. I'm going to take the Saints 27-24. And then for Packers-Rams, I really think the Rams just got – I don't know. Lucky's not the right word because they beat a pretty good Seahawks team. But I think their luck's going to run out against the Packers. And I think the Packers are going to win 34-23.
Cool. Chalk in the NFC. So we got a 1-2 seed for the matchup there. And then we got Ravens, Chiefs 4.0. Chris, what are you thinking all 4 games?
I'm feeling the Ravens too. I really thought the Bills looked pretty nervous yesterday, and I think they'll continue to. And it's not a good matchup because the Bills, I don't think up front are going to be able to handle the Ravens running game very well. So I'll take Ravens. Let's go 27-23 in that game. Chiefs Browns. I'll go 34-20. With the Bucks and the Saints, I'm going to stick with the Saints on that as well. I think it's going to be a close game as well. Let's go with 28-24 Saints. And then the Packers and the Rams. I actually think that's probably going to be the most divisive game of the weekend. I'm going to have to say the Packers are going to hold the Rams down pretty well. I don't think it says if the Packers are really going to score a whole lot, but I think they'll probably win. I'm going to put 27-10.
All right, so I'm going to go in a little bit of a backwards order. I'm going to start with the Packers and the Rams. I think that Rodgers struggles a little bit against that defense, but that it ends up being the Packers coming out. And we'll say 21-10 for me, just because I don't see the Rams scoring any points, but the Packers aren't going to light the board up. And I think Rodgers is going to throw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So kind of park the bus on that thought right there. I think the Saints do actually put one on the Bucks a little bit. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. So we'll say 35-21 on that one. Just to be a little contrarian, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Bills are going to win the battle of who's going to mess this up more between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Nick Wright's been saying for the past couple of weeks that every Bills Mafia most staunchest supporter knows that Josh Allen isn't winning 4 games in a row. I think he's going to win 2 games in a row, and he's going to meet his maker the following week in the AFC Championship game. But I think the Bills pull this one off because Lamar kind of reminds us why he didn't win his first playoff games and the other couple of seasons. And then the reason I parked the bus on that Rodgers 2-2 thing, I think Mahomes goes out and makes a point knowing that he is not going to win the MVP this year, and they're going to give it to Rodgers, and he's going to do that whole Michael Jordan, Karl Malone type of thing we were talking about.
Like it.
Yeah, and he's not gonna throw any of that stuff out of there. He's just gonna throw 5 touchdown passes, and I think the running game is gonna get going. I had this for a score for the Saints Bears, and it didn't pull off, but 49-10. That's what I'm going for. I think that we were gonna absolutely beat down the Browns, and it's gonna be a massive humiliation.
I like it.
The Browns are gonna go home happy that they made it as far as they did, and we're gonna go
they won
prepare
their
for
Super Bowl
Buffalo,
today,
and we're gonna beat those guys as well. So there you go. Again, big thanks, Mark, for coming on and talking playoff football with us. And, appreciate everything. And go Chiefs, and we'll be back next week.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet.
So run it back for the boys from 69, back for the fans on 12.